Good afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity to give this update on the National Quantum Initiative. As stated, I'm Brad Blakestad. I'm the director of the National Quantum Coordination Office that sits within the White House's Office of Science and Technology Policy. My office does not directly fund quantum R&D. In the US system, the funding for initiatives goes to the various departments and agencies. Our role within the NQCO is to work to ensure that quantum activities are coordinated across the US government. We engage with over 25 agencies, spanning those who actively do invest in quantum R&D, to those who set key regulations, and to those that are responsible for protecting this sensitive technology. In addition, we help the administration craft policy that will help advance US interests in this field. I come today to give an update on the National Quantum Initiative in the United States. However, the White House is actively in the process of developing the future directions for quantum within the government. So let me split my talk kind of into two sections. The first is to talk about how we got to where we are, and then I'll try to give you some insight into what we're thinking about going forward. In 2018, during the first term of President Trump, he signed the National Quantum Initiative Act into law, which kicked off the first major coordinated policy activity within the United States and in quantum. As part of this important initiative, it stood up 10 national quantum centers, 5 within the Department of Energy, 5 within the National Science Foundation. That was later expanded into 14 total centers, with the addition of 4 centers that are focused on the defense and intelligence communities. These centers have been important in advancing research across a number of different areas, and they engage over 1,000 quantum scientists. Of those scientists, over 3/4 of them are early career scientists who, after starting their career in one of these centers, will go on to expand the workforce working for academia, government, or industry. Another key component of the National Quantum Initiative was the Quantum Economic Development Consortium, or QEDC, which I think many of you are familiar with, that was stood up by NIST. The QEDC continues to serve as an important platform for supporting US quantum industry, and has also expanded into international companies as well. And I personally view it as a very useful way for getting a consolidated industry voice for helping policymakers like myself as we try to navigate making intelligent policy decisions. The NQI is also responsible for a number of education or workforce initiatives, like the National Q through 12 Educational Partnership, which is noteworthy due to its breadth and depth of activities to bring awareness to quantum careers, to come up with activities and learning frameworks for the classroom, and to connect students with quantum researchers. Through the NQI and other related activities, the first Trump administration oversaw the doubling of US government investment in quantum to approximately $1 billion annually. Collectively, these investments have resulted in countless research advances, promoted the emerging quantum industry, and strengthened the talent pipeline. Today, the current administration is excited to update and amplify the work that was started in the first Trump administration, as there really is a lot more work to be done. I hope you were all here yesterday to hear the remarks from my boss, Michael Kratsios, who is the director of the director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. He also serves as the President's Science and Technology Advisor. And I hope you could get a sense for how interested he is in quantum personally. I think that's a great opportunity for me to be working in quantum under someone who is so engaged in the technology. In March, the President sent a letter to Director Kratsios, which specifically highlighted 3 different emerging technology areas as priorities for the Office of Science and Technology Policy. These include AI, quantum, and nuclear. The administration is already moving out on this directive. Both the Department of Energy and the National Science Foundation are in the process of soliciting and revitalizing the national quantum centers that were stood up during the original NQI. In addition, as part of the President's budget reconciliation bill, over the summer, an additional $250 million were allocated to the DARPA Quantum Benchmarking Initiative, ensuring that activity can support a robust exploration into commercial quantum computing activities. Within our office, we've also been working with Congress, and will continue to work with Congress as they consider opportunities to update and modernize the National Quantum Initiative through reauthorization. In the meantime, as we consider the President's mandate to bolster U.S. leadership in quantum, the White House has identified 5 major priorities to guide future policy. Michael mentioned those 5 priorities, but let me restate them, and hopefully they align with the sorts of things that you're looking to see out of the U.S. government. The first is that we need innovative ways of growing the domestic workforce while continuing to be a beacon that attracts global talent to the U.S. ecosystem. As the technology has matured from laboratory to actual products, so too must the workforce expand to include not just PhD physicists, but an entire skill set of different individuals. Federal workforce initiatives should reflect that shift, and we look forward to continuing to work with academia, industry, and state and local governments to address the quantum workforce needs. The second priority is we need a concerted effort to push quantum out of the laboratory and into commercialization. This will involve supporting policies that advance quantum sensing technologies beyond prototype and towards widespread adoption and deployment. In quantum computing, this means working across the ecosystem to identify the most promising applications, engaging end users, and then promoting code development to pursue quantum advantage during this administration. At the same time, as we consider commercialization as an increased priority, we must maintain the investments that are being made in basic research, since I think there's wide recognition that a lot of the fundamental science breakthroughs in quantum have not yet been made, and we need to make sure that we are continuing those investments. The third priority, we need to catalyze and incentivize the ecosystem of enabling technologies. So we're talking things like lasers, advanced manufacturing, materials, to ensure that we are developing the component technologies needed to further growth and commercialization in this area. We are actively discussing the opportunities and the policy tools that we can bring to bear to help build out a robust enabling technology ecosystem. Fourth, we need to cultivate good relationships with our international partners and allies. We recognize that quantum is fundamentally a global endeavor, and we must work to build out a trusted network where the flow of ideas and technologies with like-minded partners will support increased innovation. In fact, I was just in Japan last week having conversations with a number of different countries on many of the topics that I've just mentioned. In addition, some of you may be tracking in the news just maybe an hour or two ago, the President signed an agreement while on an official state visit to London with the UK. This is the Tech Prosperity Deal, where we will work together on a number of quantum topics where we have identified a mutual benefit for both countries. This also includes other topic areas like nuclear and AI. We are eager to find additional ways that we can work with our allies and partners in this space. Fifth and finally, we need to protect the development of these sensitive technologies and applications. There are, of course, several different aspects of quantum technologies that could undermine national security if adversaries were able to either develop or acquire these technologies. Therefore, we must identify measures working with our partners that empower our researchers to secure their work in a manner that will not hinder our ability to outcompete our competitors. These 5 priorities are going to serve as the basis for future policy actions and directives coming out of OSTP. And we hope that they will ensure an updated National Quantum Initiative will be able to support the next steps of the U.S. quantum community. So with that, I will end. I will thank you for the time, and I look forward to working with you through my office at the National Quantum Coordination Office to really try to push this technology and advance it into the future. Thank you.